The Osmo Mobile 6 just got a game-changing update for both photo and video shooters, and it's now an essential piece of gear for mobile shooting. And in some cases, this gimbal might actually make your phone camera more useful than an actual mirrorless camera. But it's not perfect, and it does have a few flaws that might be a complete deal breaker for some people. So the real question is the Osmo Mobile 6 right for your shooting style? Now, the reason the Osmo Mobile 6 has become an essential piece of gear for mobile shooters is because the brand new updates fix the two biggest problems everyone has when it comes to shooting with your cell phone. And that's the fact that if you want the best possible quality, you have to use the camera on the back. But when you're using the camera on the back, you have no real way of interacting with your camera, and you definitely can't see what your camera is actually shooting. But that's where the DJI tracking comes in, because you can actually control your entire setup simply using hand gestures like this. And when you have a hand gesture up, it'll flash 3 times and then it'll follow you around and shoot at the same time. This is basically like having a free cameraman, and it does such a good job tracking subjects with ActiveTrack 6.0, which is part of the new update, that even if someone walks past me, it's not going to lose me, it's going to keep locked on. And even if they stand right in front of me, it still finds me. It does a really good job, and it does not crap out on you. It's a really reliable system, and it's going to make shooting with your cell phone a lot easier. And if you ever want to stop shooting, simply hold up a peace sign or an open hand, and it will simply stop shooting. And you can also activate subject tracking by pressing the trigger once, and it will automatically start tracking your subject, or you can simply draw a box around your subject on the screen like this, and it will track them like that as well. So there's multiple ways to activate subject tracking. And another really exciting update to the Osmo Mobile 6 is the ability to control it through your Apple Watch. As you guys can see, there's actually a little preview of me on this Apple Watch right now. There is a little bit of a lag, so it's not one-to-one, but this is a really good remote control app, because with this, you can control the direction of your gimbal, activate subject tracking, even change the orientation of your phone from vertical to horizontal, and of course you can start and stop recording and take photos as well. But basically everything you would need to normally touch your gimbal for or your phone, you can now do through your Apple Watch. Also, if you want to check out the Osmo Mobile 6, I'll leave links down below with the best pricing. Now let's talk about the gimbal itself. It's actually really small and pocket size, and to open it, you simply unlatch this top lock, flip this over, and it turns on by itself. And from there, you can actually grab your phone, which has a metal magnetic mount on it. You attach this to the gimbal. It's a very powerful magnet. You can literally hold it by the phone, and just like that, your gimbal's ready to go, and it'll keep everything very smooth and stable. But my favorite thing about the OM6 is the built-in selfie stick with a tilt axis that's going to give you more reach with your gimbal, but also the ability to do wide-angle selfies like this. And you can also attach tripod legs to the bottom of this gimbal, so you can set it down pretty much anywhere and start recording. And if you have it close, it actually works as a really nice extension on the grip for a better handle. And even if you've never used a gimbal before, the DJI Mobile 6 is really easy to figure out. The button layout and ergonomics are super simple. Double tapping the rotation button will actually flip the phone from horizontal to vertical or vice versa. Pressing it once will take you from the front-facing camera to the rear-facing camera. And pressing it 3 times will take you from photo to video mode. And pressing the record button will either let you record video or take a photo. The joystick will let you control the gimbal, and the wheel on the left will let you zoom in or out. And if you press it in once, it will let you change focus. And this gimbal also has 4 different shooting modes made for different shooting scenarios. First up is the pan, follow, tilt mode, where you basically have the gimbal follow you left to right, up and down, and it basically follows the movement of your hands. And if you ever need to go in an underslung mode, you simply tilt the gimbal like this and the camera will flip with you. Next up is the pan, follow, tilt, lock mode, and this basically locks off your tilt axis, so the camera will still go left and right, but when you try to go up and down, the tilt axis is locked. And the next 2 modes are probably my favorite modes on this gimbal. First up is FPV mode, where it still goes left, right, up, down, but it also goes side to side with you because the gimbal will actually roll, and this will give your videos a very immersive feel. Lastly, you have spin shot mode, where you simply push the joystick to the left or right and the camera on the gimbal will actually spin. It's not a full 360 spin, but it does allow you to get some really cool shots. Now, the whole point of a gimbal is to keep your footage as smooth as possible as you move around. But some of you guys might think, well, I could probably get similar results by just holding the phone in my hand because it's so light. However, when you compare a phone on a gimbal compared to just the iPhone by itself, you see that there is a world of difference. And when you try to do more complex moves, it's much easier with the gimbal than if you were just holding the phone. Now, as cool as these gimbal modes are, the best features in this gimbal are actually inside of the DJI Mimo app that's going to give you the most from your gimbal. You obviously have your standard photo and video mode, but the best thing in this app is actually something known as story mode. In this mode, you actually have several templates to choose from that will give you a different edit and a different vibe. So for me, I'm gonna pick Modern City just because I like that one the most. Once you started, in the top left corner, it's actually going to tell you what type of shot it wants you to take, and it will give you an option of several shots that it wants you to do. And once you do these shots, it will actually take everything you just shot, put it into an edit with music over it for you, and this way you can get content for your social media within a matter of minutes. Now, the video templates inside of story mode are a little bit corny, but if you're brand new to filmmaking and video production, this is such a good way to learn. And the DJI Mimo app itself does have an editing program built into it with a one-tap editor where you can bring in your own clips and get the app to edit them for you. So even if you don't like the templates, you can still use this app to edit your videos. And there's also hundreds of other templates inside of this app, so I'm guaranteeing that you will find something you like in here. And it's nice to know that you can shoot and edit all inside of one app. And on top of that, you can also set up your own time lapse with up to 4 custom waypoints, or you can just do the standard left to right or right to left time lapse. And you also have something known as hyperlapse mode, where it basically takes a video clip and speeds it up to look like a time lapse. But there's also something in here for photo shooters as well, because you actually have 3 different panorama modes. One of them takes 9 different photos for a super wide panorama, or you can also take 6 photos from left to right for a super wide 240-degree panorama, but my absolute favorite is a panorama mode that actually lets you clone yourself into multiple different positions. So is the DJI Osmo Mobile 6 actually worth it, or does it have any major downsides? Well, this is a part of the video where I get to complain and nitpick. Well, for the most part, I like how small this gimbal is, but once you add the feet at the bottom, it is no longer pocket size. So that's kind of disappointing, and I wish this gimbal had a way of collapsing these feet into the gimbal itself just to make it more travel friendly. And if you're someone that likes to use the newest and greatest iPhones and you want to shoot 4K at 120 frames per second with Apple ProRes log, unfortunately, inside of the DJI Mimo app, you do not have access to either of those settings. You can only record in standard color, and 4K 60 is the highest frame rate you can do. While there is a dedicated slow motion mode, that mode is only in 1080p, and you can only do 5 times and 10 times slow motion, where usually the iPhone native app will do a lot better, so it's a little disappointing to see. However, my biggest gripe with the Osmo Mobile 6 is the fact that as much as I love the active track, it only works within the DJI Mimo app, and you cannot use it with third-party apps or even the native camera app, where competing gimbals do allow you to use active track with other apps. However, those gimbals are somewhere between $300 to $350. That is double the price of the DJI Osmo Mobile 6, and this gimbal is only about $100 to $150, making it a really good value because you're getting an amazing gimbal with tons of amazing software features, and for the price, there's really nothing else out there that's this good. So if you want to pick one up, I highly recommend it, and I'll also leave links down below for the best pricing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.